champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here.
All right, the champ is here, loved by many, hated by few, respected by all, second to none. This is Legal Standpoint with Michael J. Todd.
What's going on, Ed?
Hey, man, nothing much. I was, we were trying to figure out what we were going to talk about today.
And you know what? And circumstances just put it
just
in
pop
right
there, right
put
there.
it right there for us.
Right there.
Because, last time we were here on Legal Standpoint, which was in the month of July. Because we missed August because somebody had some.
Yeah, I had a TEDx talk.
I remember we talked about that.
I dropped that like that. You see, when you're cool like that, you can just right. Start doing stuff. I had a TEDx talk.
For some reason, I had to, get kicked for a month. And then today, Carter High School, the best high school in Oak Cliff, and if you it says that right here in Oak Cliff and the Missing Pieces by Gregory Hayes. How you gonna say Carter is the best high school in Oak Cliff when we got the Sock Bears, two-time state champions in Oak Cliff? I can't just sit here and allow that to go by.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I know Carter's had a good team last couple of years, but I don't think they've made it past the third round.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, man. Don't get beside yourself now.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know what got into me, man.
I know,
I thought it was my show. I could do anything I wanted to.
No, it's
Legal Standpoint. Yeah, okay, Todd.
What Reagan say?
Yeah,
I pay for this one.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's right. Check's good. Okay, as we were talking about.
So back in July.
What
were we talking about? We were talking about the Ken Paxton impeachment trial.
Yep.
We talked about we were going through the different articles of impeachment, all the way from disregarding his official duty by launching investigations, taking bribery money, getting his side piece a job at a place where she could work, and
getting a side piece of job. Man, he so he was never out of no money then, was he?
Well, he was
because he gave his side piece a job.
Right. So he wasn't out any money.
Yeah.
He lost a little money during the impeachment, but I'm sure they're gonna give it back to him.
Yeah, because
when he got impeached, he wasn't able to get his salary, even though they tried to make it where he could get his salary, but he couldn't.
But now he was impeached. I thought he was acquitted, man.
Well, that just happened today, man. It just happened.
Yeah, because when I texted you earlier today, we were talking about what we were going to talk about. I said baby impeachment, because that's what I called it.
Right.
Because the big impeachment was Trump.
Right.
You know,
but this is Trump's boy.
Yeah. Thus the name baby impeachment. Yeah. That's what I've been tweeting.
And we end up with the same type of result.
Acquittal.
Acquittal.
Yeah, baby impeachment.
So
and
20 articles of impeachment, and today the Texas Senate voted to acquit this man.
20 articles. That was performative art.
Yeah.
I mean, because they didn't really mean it.
You know what, man? The thing is this. When you looked at it today, I mean, the rig was in from the jump. They had, Dan Patrick, who was overseeing stuff, and he went and he got a judge that's from the Dallas area, somebody that I know from being a prosecutor, a district court judge.
See, that's the dangerous thing about you doing it. You can't say, I just wish I had that part written down, that way I could have said it.
What do you mean?
What the judge's name?
Well, I'm not going all in that.
I know, that's what I'm talking about. You can't.
I'm not going into that.
You can't, but I could.
But the thing is this: the judge was there. They hired the judge to be able to give advice to Dan Patrick, and when I found out this particular judge, who's Judge Lana McDaniel,
when I found out that she was that individual, it gave me some consolation because I know while she may be conservative, she's always been somebody that's fair. She's been somebody that's even Steven. So it gave me some consolation.
I like the way you said that when you just mentioned the name, counselor.
Well, what do you mean, man?
What was the name that you just mentioned?
Judge Lana McDaniel.
You just threw that one in there just like that, just so smooth.
Right, yeah, because she's a nice lady.
I'll allow it.
Okay, all right.
Okay, proceed.
So anyway, that gave me some consolation. But when I sat there and listened to them go through each one of those counts today,
yeah,
it just let me know that it was, like you said, it was
performative art.
Yeah, performative. Because, I mean, it was, they decided this weeks ago. They had to have. Because out of 19 Republicans in the Senate, in the U.S. and in the state Senate, one couldn't vote, which was Ken Paxton's wife.
Right.
Right? She just had to sit there. So out of the other remaining 18, only two out of 20 counts could vote to impeach this man. Only two. I mean, let's talk about this, man. He violated the rules of his office by failing to protect the charitable organization by directing employees to intervene in a lawsuit between a foundation and his boy.
Nate Paul.
Yeah, Nate Paul. He hired a little young attorney who'd only been practicing about 5 years to investigate a baseless complaint made by Nate Paul, who accused federal and state investigators of improperly searching his home and business. The little young attorney issued 30 grand jury subpoenas in an effort.
That's what you
to
guys
help
call
Paul.
a baby attorney?
Well, he's only 5 years out. Yeah, I mean, he's still wet behind the ears. You know, I saw his testimony. I saw parts of it. And I felt sorry for the young man. I mean, because he said he had his practice going. He was getting clients.
Yeah, that was the dude that was crying, right?
No. He wasn't the dude that was crying. The other dude that was crying was one of the whistleblowers.
Okay, all right.
But the guy had his practice going, and he said he got a call while he was riding in his car from the state attorney general and said, "I've heard good things about you. I want you to come in and do this investigation." He got big. So he called his mama and told him, "Yo, girl, my mama, I'm about to go big time.
Blow up.
I'm about to go big time." He started this investigation, and then they just cut him off at the knees and told him when it got hot, they just told him, "Well, hey man, you know, don't worry about it. You got to cease and desist." They sent him a cease and desist letter. Stop your investigation. He said, "Well, what about that $14,000 invoice that I sent over?" They said, "You just gonna have to chalk that one up to the game."
Oh no!
It sure did, man.
So you know they
gangster.
I mean,
gangster.
That's why I'm like saying Paxton is doing stuff that I mean, we two brothers, but we've been around the way and everything, but chalking it up to the game, man, they were doing some gangster stuff, man. So we got a deal where the attorney general have his side chick get a job and everything.
Right.
Yeah, and then he tells this other young dude, like, you in the streets and everything, man, hey, you just SOL, man, on this.
Right.
I ain't paying you.
Right. But wait a minute. On top of that, these whistleblowers, they filed a complaint and turned him in to the FBI saying, "We think he's doing improper things on the benefit for the benefit of Nate Paul." And so they filed a lawsuit about this, right? He ends up settling the lawsuit for $3.3 million with these whistleblowers. And then he says that the state of Texas is going to pay the $3.3 million. That's how he got impeached, because the people in the House of Representatives got so upset about it that the Republicans led the impeachment. And this wasn't no deal where all the Democrats voted to impeach in the House and then one or two Republicans voted. I mean, it was like more than 2/3 of these folks that were in the House voted to impeach this person. But then when we come before the Senate, that's made up of 31 individuals, 30 who could vote because his wife could not vote because the side piece and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but she couldn't vote anyway.
But she couldn't vote because that was her husband. But
right,
then, we talked about the last time.
Sad said right, her husband.
Yeah, she had to stand by her man. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. And so we have 19 Republicans there, 18 who can vote, and only 2 said it was wrong for him to tie the Texas state tax dollars to his wrongdoings. I mean, what is going on with that? I mean, can you believe that?
So the Texas House said, don't get us in your stuff. We don't want to pay no money. So they said, we want to impeach.
We're going to impeach him.
And then the state of Texas, the senators
said, well, don't worry about it, man. You going on back to work. Don't matter what you've done. And we haven't even talked about the fact of the times he's filed these crazy lawsuits. He filed a lawsuit in the Supreme Court to try to invalidate the elections in 4 states that did not include Texas.
Right. That was stupid.
That didn't include Texas.
I mean, and people say, well, you shouldn't say that wasn't stupid. You have to be dignified and say that wasn't wise. That was stupid.
Stupid.
Absolutely
got poured
stupid.
Out by the Supreme Court.
It's like, aren't they supposed to be for states' rights? Then you shouldn't be concerned about another right of another state.
Right.
If you want to do something, your state.
Right. But he didn't do anything.
But
you know why?
Why?
Because Trump won Texas. So what were the problems there? Just like what were the problems of voting in Texas that required them to go through, them being the Republicans, to go through and pass all of this voter integrity legislation that's just making it harder to vote. I mean, we've talked about this stuff a lot, but the thing is that we talk about it a lot because it's happening a lot, and it doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't know, Ed. I mean, what you think about this, man? They acquitted this man.
Well, when I saw it pop up on my phone, I was like, America, come on now. There is no rule of law here.
Yeah, I totally agree.
He can do that, and there's no rule of law. Now, my question is, since his, I don't want to call him his daddy. Okay, since his daddy, former President Trump, would be vindictive, I'm kind of curious whether or not baby impeachment is going to be vindictive too.
Oh, I think he is. I heard some of his statement that he gave after the Senate acquitted him. And you would think somebody who's done wrong that has skated by would just say, hey, man, I'm going to do better. I put myself and my wife and my family in some precarious situations.
Yep.
And, I'm going to do better.
And I need to represent America's youth and all that stuff.
All that stuff. You know what he said?
What'd he say?
Oh, this just shows that the shameless, that the sham impeachment proceeding had no merit. And, just basically like this, like they tripping.
Baby impeachment,
just like Trump, just like, whatever, man. It really gets to the point, man, where you are thinking that there is no rule of law, just like you said, in the country. It's just not here. Let's think about it. Let's compare and contrast. Y'all they taught you that at Carter, right? Compare and contrast.
Come on, man. Come on, man. I went to a magnet school, too, so, yeah, they taught me that at Law Magnet.
But I'm sure they taught you
at Law Magnet.
Yeah, I'm a public school man myself.
Okay.
I'm not taking a dig at you, man. I'm just trying
to
get
take a point away, counsel.
All right, okay. So let's compare and contrast.
Carter style.
In Texas, you can do all of these things, these allegations, but the political machinery here protects you and acquits you of those things, right?
Right.
In Tennessee, if you stand up and you ask for gun control during the legislative session,
which you should be able to do,
and you black, right, you get expelled from the legislature.
Right.
Now, think about that. bribing folks, having people working on your house for free, launching investigations to cool your boy out, right? All that's okay. But then we've got other legislatures where somebody just speaks up and speaks up loudly.
Not getting any personal gain from it.
Not getting any personal gain. Not harming anybody. Not serving anybody with 30 subpoenas to try to protect your boy. Not casting aspersions on the whistleblowers who have, come out against you. All of those things are not present there, but they get, the Tennessee 3 get expelled, right, or the Tennessee 2 get expelled. Because the 2 black folks.
And I'm glad you said that, because people kept referring to it as the Tennessee 3. And I always say the Tennessee 3 -1.
Right, because
the Tennessee 3 being they all spoke out, minus the one that didn't get expelled, and she was white.
Right.
And then once I said that, someone said, you always bringing up racial stuff. And I go like, well, she's white. I can't.
Right. We supposed to just ignore that?
I can't ignore that.
Yeah, we're trying to compare and contrast. So we're comparing the situations and then the contrast as it relates to what happened to them. And then what were the factors that were different?
I'm going to try not to look at the camera like I did the last time when you did compare and contrast. But, the compare and contrast, though, is that, if we're going to compare what Trump did and Paxton said today, he's reading right out of the Trump playbook.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is this. How can a party, and I'm talking about the Republican Party, how can a party say that they're for law and order when they don't uphold the law? When you sit, people can always, have a distinction or a difference as it relates to something. But right is right. And there's no way you can sit here and say it's okay for somebody to do renovations on my house for thousands and thousands of dollars that I don't have to pay, cool me out by getting my side piece a job, and I'm launching investigations against people to keep them quiet, and then say that that's okay. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. So how could they be the party of law and order?
I don't think they are the party of law.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think what they are, they're the party of breaking laws and ordering people.
Right.
Because they break laws, and then through the ordering of things, they change it. Sort of like, okay, we're going to break this law, and then we're going to change how we're going to do it where it only affects me to my benefit.
Right.
And that's my concern in the state of Texas, is just that. I am concerned that what is going to happen at the AG's office and what is going to happen in the future.
Right. Because the thing is this. We're talking about what? We're talking about, number one, that they are not the party of law and order, right? In addition to that, right, when you look at this situation, they like to say that the Democrats or the liberals or whatever, they want to cancel people. How many times have you heard that?
Right.
If you go against what they believe, right, they being the Democrats or the liberals, then they want to cancel you. They want to negate you. But what have they been doing with individuals that take issue with respect to their gangster ways? There was a full court press on those senators, Republican senators, that if they did not vote to acquit, that they were going to be primaried, that their constituents would be whipped up into a fervor to get them out. So we have not only a situation where they're looking at the facts and circumstances and not judging them correctly, but they're doing it because what? They're trying to protect themselves rather than what's in the interest of the public good. I mean, I'm honest. I'm just mystified.
You know,
I'm feeling bad.
I'm feeling bad too, and I'm mystified too. But one thing I'm not mystified about is if I want to buy or sell a house, who I need to talk to?
Gail Lamb Todd.
Gabe, I know you got the Gail Lamb Todd drop. So let's play that in a couple of Commish drops, and we'll be right back with our mystification.
Hi, my name is Gail Todd with Townview Realtors. If you find yourself in the market to buy, sell, lease, or maybe you want to be a part of this hot real estate market by investing, just give my team of professionals and I a call at 214-675-9572. Again, that's 214-675-9572. Or you can email me at gtodd88@yahoo.com. With me, it's all about you.
Hello out there. My name is Byron Williams, former NFL player. I'm with the NFL Players Association, and when I'm not in the community, I'm listening to Mr. Ed Gray, the Commish.
What's up, beautiful peoples out there? It's your boy Mar, a.k.a. Cool Pop Watson, baby. Make sure you check my man out 3 to 5 every Saturday. Commish Radio Show. Make sure y'all come check my man out.
All right, back again, Commish Radio Show. And Michael J. Todd, Legal Standpoint with Michael J. Todd.
That's
We're talking about the baby impeachment.
Yeah.
And I want to acknowledge some folks that are tuned in on my feed. Terry Allen, he says, you're naming names. Oh, yeah, just name the names. He said this is just us kicking it, conversation, but it's crucial. And that's the reason why we want to go ahead and just kick it like that.
Right.
Because, we're not dumbing anything down. We just go ahead and just talking the way, real people will talk about something. We don't need to use a $5 word when we can use a $2.50 word.
Right.
So I said earlier about the judicial system, I want everyone to know that this was not a criminal trial. When people think about impeachments, they're not criminal trials. They are political trials. And it's always ironic when politicians say, oh, they're doing politics. It's an impeachment. It is political.
It is politics. But the thing is this, that even if it's politics, it has to have a baseline of respectability. You've got to be able to look at something and have confidence that the process has integrity. And when you sit here and you see that only 2 Republicans out of 18 that were eligible to voted for to convict as it relates to the impeachment, I think it undermines the whole credibility of the integrity and the credibility of the whole process. And so while it is a political aspect, we have to look at those principles that inure to the continued existence and moving forward of our country. And I just don't think that what we saw today is something that is going to give confidence to a great swath of the population here in Texas.
So you said it's a sad day, huh?
Oh, it's a real sad day. It's a real sad day. I just really can't understand it. I mean, you just look at it, and it's a situation where, how do you tell people? How do you tell people you have to act right, that there are consequences to your actions when there are no consequences here?
There's no consequences
Right.
to actions.
So when I talk to my client on Monday, who's got this DWI or who's got a, aggravated robbery case or something, how do I tell them, it's only consequences if it is termed some type of violent criminal act versus criminal activities that others do that people may look at and say it's no big deal? They're not held accountable.
Well, that's sort of like when black elected officials go to jail for using funds improperly.
Correct.
They go to jail. Other people don't go to jail. What happens to them is this.
Right. And you know what? And I've always been the kind of person that when somebody tells me, other folks are doing it, I've always said, well, that's not the right response, because
no, you ain't other folks.
Yeah, but not only that, but you shouldn't be doing wrong. I mean, I totally agree that you shouldn't be doing wrong, but it does make you question the system if you see other folks who are getting off, but you're being held accountable.
All right. I wasn't going to bring race into this, but I'm going to say it.
So now, go on, say what you're going
to say.
Yeah, I'm going to say
it. But, that's what black folk do. They say, well, they stealing, you know who they are. Right. They stealing, so I can steal too. And well, they just pick it on me because I'm black. And it goes back to what you said. You shouldn't be doing it anyway.
Right. Yeah, you shouldn't be doing it anyway.
If you know you're black, which clearly you do know you're black because you said it.
Right.
You should know that you ain't going to get away with it because that ain't the way the system's set up for you to get away with it.
Right. Well, nobody should get away with it. I mean, if somebody's stealing, nobody should get away.
No, nobody should.
No, they shouldn't. I mean, it shouldn't be sweetheart deals.
This was a sweetheart deal.
Wait a minute, unless I'm representing you.
Unless you can't say that, counselor.
Yeah, I'm talking from a moral standpoint.
A moral standpoint,
not a professional standpoint.
Yeah, but hey, that's what's going on here. There's no morals in this at all.
No, none at all. And you know what? The thing is this: when we look at Democrats always are one to try to be fair. We go back to the allegations against, what was my man's name? The senator that was from Pennsylvania, Al Franken. You remember he used to be the comedian?
Yeah, from Minnesota.
Minnesota. So when Al Franken has allegations that he allegedly harassed a woman, right? Mm-hmm. Democrats came out in the Senate and said he needs to go. And that led to him what? Resigning from his position.
And he did some of those things before he was elected.
I can't remember if they were before that.
Yeah, because on one was him, taking a picture with. No, you're right, because that was a staffer.
Yeah, I think it was after, but I'm not.
But the major point is that the Democrats told him he need to leave and go.
Right, and
but you know the reason why though, the large amount of women that are in the Democratic Party.
Correct.
And women vote traditionally more Democratic, so I've been led to believe.
Yeah, well, I would agree with that. I mean, I think a lot of the victories that the Democratic Party has received have been on the back of women, especially black women. So I mean, but they get out, they vote, and they,
So they had no other choice but to say that. So it wasn't like, oh well.
Well, but the thing is this.
But if he had toughed it out.
I think he could have, because the deal is this. Nobody ever said he touched a woman. Nobody ever said that he did anything like, he groped somebody or anything. I think they said that somebody was asleep and
he took a picture as if he
like he was going to grab her, but he didn't.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so in the big scheme of things, I mean, that's not like grabbing them out of, like Trump said. It's not like, hey, we're going to, I can do whatever you want because I'm a star. I mean, it wasn't 15 women saying that he forced himself on me.
Yeah,
it wasn't like somebody took him to court and he lost a.
So Democrats need to be stronger.
Well, the thing is that.
Or they not need to do any of those things in the first place?
Well, they don't need to do the things in the first place. But the thing is, the Republicans would have never said, hey, this person needs to go. They would have never put that internal pressure on them. And then from that standpoint, they wouldn't have pushed them out. Now, somebody's going to call in, somebody's going to say, well, the Republicans voted in the House to impeach him. So, that's not true.
Because I'm looking at comments and everything now.
So that's not true. But the thing is that the Republican senators,
performative art.
It was no way that they were going to convict this guy of the impeachment counts. And these things were just, they were just so clear, just so clear. It's the long range damage I think that this is going to do to the country. I think is I mean, it's just a snowball effect.
And Trump said something the other day too. Talked about this impeachment too.
Yeah. Oh no, he's already given a statement where he's congratulated Paxton for winning this. I didn't get a chance to read it, but I did read that he's offered his congratulations. You know, gangster. You know, game recognize game. So, you know, gangster recognize gangster. I mean, they gangsters together.
So you know what that means? People, you got to get out and vote. This is all political.
Yeah,
so
but you know what? You and I have been saying that for probably 2 years now. But the question is, people are getting out and voting, but is it going to do any good?
Well, you know, you got to tell people to get out and vote. Because it will do some good.
That's one.
But see, now you're slipping in the same way a lot of other people slip. It's not bad. I mean, you can come back. But it's just the whole thing of that. You just say, WTF.
Yeah, well, yeah. But it makes you think that. I mean, if you're sitting there and you see a guy in Tennessee who just happens to holler out during the session, get kicked out, and the guy with all these allegations that credible individuals have come and testified, one of these whistleblowers that testified in the Paxton impeachment trial, I know this guy. He's a conservative guy. I've talked to him about this impeachment. I've talked to him about what he had seen. And he is a level-headed guy. He is a person that has been on the side of the state and law enforcement for his whole career. A good guy who's been taking incoming type of innuendo, you know, all this type of harassment, things of that nature.
He's threatened too?
Well, he hadn't told me he was threatened, but I have heard that there have been some issues with respect to individuals trying to counsel, trying to say that these individuals had an agenda, that they're just trying to do something to take someone down. They're trying to substitute their vision for the will of the voters. You know what I mean? I mean, come on, man, this is crazy. So every time somebody that's a Republican gets charged with a crime or gets charged with impeachment, then all of a sudden we're trying to negate the will of the voters. You know, Trump is pulling all of this. Oh, they're interfering with me because I'm winning.
But no one's cast a vote yet. We don't know whether or not you winning or not.
Well, that's true.
I mean, you're not winning anything because no one has voted yet.
Right, but the thing is this. He's saying, oh, they could have filed this two and a half years ago, right?
Right.
But Trump, after he lost, he filed the paperwork for his campaign, right? So he could keep raising money, right? So at no point at any time, if they had indicted him,
he wouldn't have said that.
He would have said the same thing, because he filed the paperwork right after he got out the White House. So anytime any action would have been taken against him, his whole thing would have been, oh,
you out to get me.
You out to get me because I'm running and you're trying to negate the will of the voters.
Even though the will of the voters hadn't even been done yet.
Right, and wouldn't have been done at that point.
Right, that was 2 years ago. They're not voting yet.
They're not, no. But the thing is that they gin all of this up. And then they want to say that they're about law and order. The only time they're about law and order is when it's you that they looking at, right? If it's us, right? If it's Black Lives Matter, if it's black folks protesting about George Floyd, if it's, you saying that you want to get a COVID shot or something, or the government telling you need to take a COVID shot, then it's all about you, right? But then when they doing stuff, it's like, they just trying to subvert the will of the voters. They're just trying to interfere with my election. They're trying to keep me from imposing conservative values. What kind of conservative value is this?
I thought conservative values was about law and order.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be about.
That somebody do something wrong, you throw the book at them.
Right. That's what they say. That's what they say. But we can see that's not the case. That's not the case. It's really, this, this is a step on the continuum to, I don't know where we're going. You got folks like Sarah Palin going around talking about if they keep these indictments against Trump, we're heading to civil war. You've got people out in Arizona that are saying stuff like that. You got, congressmen, who are going and they're attacking the veracity of these investigations. And you know what, man? All you got to do is look at the film from January 6th.
That was a tourist excursion.
The tourist excursion where they were whooping police officers,
right?
Breaking into the Capitol,
right?
Right? Look at everything that happened up until that point.
Is that the one where Trump gave a speech and riled people up, and then Ken Paxton gave a speech before that and riled people?
That's right. You gotta fight, and you gotta fight like hell. Yeah. Otherwise, we're not gonna have a country anymore. And I'm gonna be with you as we march down to the Capitol. And old Pence, he's let us down. Mike could stop this. And it wasn't the case. It was all a lie.
Performative art. Yeah, but see, we seem to be bit performers in this whole show, but we're the one catching it now, because now, why? There's is there any law and order in the United States when you have that, when someone could be leading an insurrection, and you have Ken Paxton, who was also one of the ones leading the insurrection as well,
right? Assisting with it,
filing lawsuits,
undergirding the credibility and integrity of the process, right? Yeah. And they ain't stopping here. Just back in July, if I'm not mistaken, there was a race in Wisconsin for the Supreme Court. There was one spot that was open, and they had a person that they dubbed a progressive or a liberal versus this conservative guy. This conservative guy was saying he was going to uphold the anti-abortion stuff and things of that nature, and and he was going to uphold the maps that they had. Wisconsin is a crazy state.
I thought that was Texas.
Well, Texas crazy too, but Wisconsin's crazy too. So check this out. In Wisconsin, the Republicans hold 56% of the elected legislature positions, Senate and House. But they only garnered 48% of the total vote. You hear what I just said? They have gerrymandered their state to the point
to where they're going to win,
where 48% of the residents in that state are winning 56% of the seats.
See, that's not voter equity. Every vote should count.
Right.
But in this case, it's going to count, but it's going to be counted in my district. So the gerrymandering has to stop as well. And
right.
You picking your own voters. And then you got that situation down in Alabama too. We'll finish with...
yeah, so the situation, so that's the backdrop. So there's a big case that's about to come before the Wisconsin Supreme Court where they're looking at these maps. And so the liberal won, which places the viability of those maps in question. And you know what the House and the Senate is talking about doing in Wisconsin?
What's that?
They're going to impeach the woman.
Another one.
Yeah, they're going to impeach her, and she hadn't even got a chance to issue a decision yet.
Well, next thing I know, you'll be telling me that they're going to impeach Joe Biden.
You know what?
I gave you that one right there.
You know what?
Go run with it.
What has Joe Biden done for them to start an impeachment inquiry about him?
Hunter Biden.
He had a son.
Hunter Biden.
He had a son that likes to get high sometimes.
Who married his own sister-in-law.
Yeah, now that was
had a child by his own sister-in-law.
Did they have a child?
Yeah, he had a child.
I didn't think they had a child.
I think they did.
Really? Yeah. He did marry his own sister-in-law. That was a little. But you know what?
What's that?
You know, I mean, folks in Kentucky and stuff do that all the time.
He's in Delaware, man. That don't count.
Hey, man, maybe she was from Kentucky.
It don't count. They're in Delaware.
Maybe she was from Kentucky.
Yeah, but you know but now we're talking about impeaching Biden, man.
Yeah, and what is that about? How is that supposed to be consistent with the rule of law?
Now, and see, that's what we asking you folks that are listening to us at home right now, is that, you know, it's about voting as well. I mean, you got to vote these people out where they won't do stuff like that. Also give them consequences to it.
Right.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is this. I mean, one thing that I didn't know at that time that Royce West told me was that there are more black folks in the state of Texas than any state in the United States.
He wearing that one out. He told me that too.
Yeah.
I think Royce was just walking up to people saying that.
But you know what? It opens, it opens your eyes. It illuminates you.
They say, what does a black person in America looks like? It looks like a black Texan. That's what because it's more black people.
Right. Now, some states like Georgia, they have a higher percentage of black folks in their country. In their state.
Numbers.
But in sheer numbers, there are more black folks in Texas than in any state. And so if we just registered our people, right, and if the people who registered went out and voted, we can make a difference. But, I talk to folks, man, that I represent who can vote. And I'm like, hey, man, why don't you go? You need to go register to vote.
One of them actually called in on the show.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
I listened to the show.
Yeah. But the thing is,
I'm on it.
A lot of times people just feel like it doesn't make a difference.
Nope. They got with the WTF. Hey, man, since you missed August, could you possibly come back on again in the next 2 weeks? Because I've been checking you out and Victor Vital. Y'all been doing a lot of stuff, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What you talking about?
Because I saw him on WFAA doing his deal just like I saw you, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know how it is. Every now and then. Broken clocks, it's right 2 times.
I just like to have y'all both on at the same time, talking like we talking now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I'm sure we can work it out.
Okay.
If you made the request.
I'll make the request.
Okay.
Then. I'm give them a call up and
All
everything. Because I've been admiring you both, the way y'all interact on a professional setting, because we're just kicking it right here, but I know I have to change my inflection of voices and everything because I'm with you.
Well, I appreciate that. I think.
Yeah, I do. Contrast and compare.
Hey, contrast and compare.
That's it. Hey, let's play those drops, and we are out, and we will see you guys back again next week on the Commish Radio Show.
And thanks, Monica and Kim and Don Hicks. I see you, baby. Thanks.
All right. Okay. All right, let's roll.
Hi, my name is Gail Todd with Townview Realtors. If you find yourself in the market to buy, sell, lease, or maybe you want to be a part of this hot real estate market by investing, just give my team of professionals and I a call at 214-675-9572. Again, that's 214-675-9572. Or you can email me at gtodd88@yahoo.com. With me, it's all about you.
Hey, this is Cheryl Smith, and when I'm looking for news and information, I tune into the Commish on Saturdays.
I got so much trouble on my mind, refuse to lose. Here's your ticket. Here's the drama get wicked. The clue to you to push the back to black attack. So I stack and dap and slack the Mac. Now I'm ready to mic it. Hear my favoritism, Rolo.
Hey, whenever I want good Cajun food, I go to Thibodeau's, located at 107 North Cedar Ridge in Duncanville, Texas. They're really hot, just like the Commish Radio Show in Thibodeau's. Hot as this gumbo. We will see you later at Thibodeau's.
Who
was that masked man? You mean you don't know? That was no masked man. That was the Commish. Saturdays from 5 to 6